Hi my dear students, welcome to English class. Dear students, now we are going to discuss about a poem, Another Woman, that is B reading, Another Woman. So this poem was written by Imtiaz Darkar. Before getting into the poem, let's have a brief discussion about author's profile, poet's profile. Mr. Imtiaz Darkar was born in Lahore in Pakistan in 1954 and brought up in Glasgow in Scotland. So though she was born in Lahore, Pakistan, she was brought up in Scotland. She is ranked on par with some of the famous women poets of India such as Kamala Das, Sujata Bhatt and Tara Patel. She is not only a poet but also a painter and an accomplished documentary filmmaker. Her collections of poetry include Parda, Postcards from God, and I Speak for the Devil, The Terrorist at My Table, and Leaving Footprints. These are the popular writings of Imtiaz Darkar. Dear students, in this poem, Imtiaz Darkar addresses one of the serious problem which India is facing, but now it is slowly decreasing thanks to educated students, educated people, and spread of awareness about the women's rights too. But until recently, still it is there. The problem is still there, but until recently it was a huge problem. Dowry system. This poem addresses the dowry system. Students, you all know that both men and women are same. Boy and girl are same actually, but unfortunately in the Indian society, what is happening is that the preference was given to boy. Though women are doing household works, women are working outside and they're earning on par with men, but they're not deserving the minimum respect what the women should get, being a human being should get. Unfortunately, this is a bad tendency, bad trait, which many of us are still following. And that shouldn't be encouraged because we need to respect women and we need to treat them with honor and we need to give them their due place in the society, in the family. So this is a very painful and heavy poem, friends, and I'll read it out. I'll recite this poem. Just listen to that. Follow it up through your textbooks. Another Woman. I'm reading the poem. I'm reciting the poem. Another Woman. This morning, she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest bunch, picked up a white radish. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet, sharp taste. Then put it aside, thinking it an extravagance. Counted her coins out carefully, tied them, a small bundle, into her sari at the waist. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks, took the leaves and chopped them. Her hands stained yellow from juice, cut the onion fine and cooked. The whole thing in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. The whole thing in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. See the usage. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. Words are beating here. I'll explain it later. The money spent, curses heaped upon her parents, who had sent her out to darken other people's doors. She crouched, as usual, on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, she did not look into his face, nor raise her head, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her the right to speak. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot. So from the fire, so it is touching the pot, cheap old pot. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against the blackened cheek. A wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. So at the sides of the pot, some blackened cheeks are there, but at the same time it is brightening also. Blackened cheek. This was the house. This was the house she had been sent to. This was the house she had been sent to. The man she had been born to. The future she had been born into. So when the kerosene was thrown, when the kerosene was thrown, just a moment of surprise, a brilliant spark. It was the only choice that she had ever known. It was the only choice that she had ever known. Another torch blazing in the dark. Another woman. We shield our faces from the heat. We shield our faces from the heat. Now let us read the poem again, friends. Now, look into this. Go to the beginning of the poem. I'll read it out again. This morning she bought green methi. This morning she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest bunch. Picked up a white radish, imagined the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet, sharp taste. Actually, she went in the morning to purchase some vegetables. She purchased methi, fenugreek. She purchased methi, and she was about to. She picked up white radish, and she imagined how tasty it will be. But thinking that eating white radish is very tasty, and she also felt the crunchy sweetness of white radish. But the thing what she stopped, immediately she kept it there. You can see the words usage. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sharp taste, then put it aside, thinking it an extravagance, counted her coins. Remember, she is a housewife, and she came and she couldn't purchase even white radish because she don't have the independence, she don't have the liberty to purchase her choice of vegetables to eat, because here in her house she is not considered as good woman. She was considered as a burden, and she don't have any rights at her husband's home, and she can't spend money according to her wishes, and it is not according to her. Actually, wife has every right to spend husband's money reasonably, but unfortunately she can't purchase even the basic bare minimum needy things also. That was her pathetic situation, because if she purchases white radish or something, anything she wants to eat, how we all will be desiring to eat chocolate or sometimes sweets, or we will spend some money in the bakeries like that, right? So she don't have that basic minimum right also, friends, because that money belongs to husband's family, and she don't have a right. That was a pathetic situation. Counted her coins out carefully, tied them a small bundle into her sari at the waist. So she again counted the coins back, because it is not, and again she know if she purchases, what problem she is going to face it again. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks. Here, she came home, and mother-in-law, how is she looking? She's looking, staring at her as if she's seeing a sinner, as if she's seeing a culprit, somebody who did wrong. So the hatred, mother-in-law's eyes were full of hatred towards her daughter-in-law. Not even a minimum respect. And they're not considering her as a human being too. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks, took the leaves. So she avoided her looks, mother-in-law's serious looks, she went into kitchen. Came home, faced mother-in-law's dark looks, took the leaves and chopped them. She began to do regular household chores, household work. Leaves and chopped them. Her hands stained yellow from the juice. Her hands stained yellow from the juice. Because when you cut, you will find sometimes some of you might have cutted the leaves, or you might have observed mother will be chopping the vegetables, green leafy vegetables, or the fenugreek, or like this. That the greeny thing, her hands were full of greeny juice, covered with green juice. Oh, sorry, yellow from the juice, yellowish color from the juice. Cut an onion fine and cooked. See, she began cooking the whole thing in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. So she is shielding her face from the heat, and she is cooking. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. Again, our mother-in-law came. Again, her mother-in-law came, and regularly, as if everyday phenomenon, every day, as usual, regularly she will do. She is scolding her daughter-in-law. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. The money spent causes curses. The money spent, because in order to live bail at least 2 square meals we need to eat, right? So what the mother-in-law is thinking, that whatever money they're spending on her food, that also they're thinking it's a waste, and she don't deserve even food also. That insane, inhuman way mother-in-law is thinking. Their wings, the usual words came and beat their wings against her. The words are causing pain. Remember, students, sometimes words causes pain to us. It'll hurt us, because somebody says bad things to us. Obviously, those are words, right? We will take into our heart. We'll feel bad. At the same time, words can heal ourselves. Sometimes we are in dull mood. Some of our friends will come and encourage, right? Words have both a negative and positive effect. So we need to choose our words in a positive way, always in a right way. The money spent, curses heaped upon her parents, not only scolding her, her daughter-in-law. She is scolding mother-in-law is scolding parents also, her parents also, daughter-in-law's parents also, because they failed to give the promised dowry. Because they failed to give the promised dowry, every day she has been insulted, humiliated. And poor parents, they can't give money because of poverty, they can't give. And moreover, asking dowry is not right, and nobody bothered about that. Curses heaped upon her parents who had sent her out. So, first of all, she's thinking she's bad omen, bad sign, bad luck. And unnecessarily your parents gave birth to you, and instead of bearing your burden, and they throw their burden on us, and to darken others' homes. See the usage of that. So darken means bringing bad luck into others' homes, unhappiness into other homes. That way, imagine she's not given a basic human treatment also. Curses heaped upon her parents who had sent her out to darken other people's doors. Other people's doors means other people's homes. So she has been insulted in that way. She crouched as usual on the floor. So she crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, here the man is her husband. Actually, there should be a loving bond between husband and wife. But unfortunately, because her parents couldn't give dowry, the promised dowry, the balanced dowry amount, she can't even speak to her husband. Like a normal wife and husband, how they will speak affectionately in a loving way, a caring manner, that is not at all there in our life. And husband also doesn't care about her wife. When the man came home, she did not look into his face. Sorry, when man came home, she did not look into his face. She can't even look into her face because his face, because of the dowry due, because they're due, and she has been insulted by even husband also. Actually, he should be a pillar of support to wife, but instead of being a support to wife, who left her parents and came to serve him, to live with him forever, and that also he couldn't understand, and he hated her. He hated his wife. She did not look into his face, nor raise her head, but bent her back a little more. So still she tried to avoid her husband's looks. Bent a little more. Nothing gave her the right to speak. So she thinks she don't have a right to speak with her husband because she couldn't bring the promised dowry. Now she's focusing on the cooking. Sorry. She watched the flame hiss up. So the flame from the stove is hissing up, coming up and boiling the old pot. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. So she has been keenly observing. So the fire is like a marriage. And the pot is like her. She's comparing it. And how the marriage should brighten, instead of brightening, it is causing pain, very heat, right? Like that. Wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. This was the house she had been sent to. This was the house she has been sent to. This was the house she had been sent to. The man she had been bound to here the rest of her life. When she marries somebody's husband, she needs to spend rest of her life with the husband. Now, it is this house which should be a place of abode of love, care, and affection, joy, and happiness. There is nothing at all, no positivity in that house. This was the house she had been sent to. The man she had been bound to. The future she had been born into. Means here, the future is bleak. Nothing is, if she imagines how the future will be, nothing positive is visible. She's feeling so sad about her life. And pain is engulfing her life. This was the house she had been sent to, the man she had been bound to, the future she had been born into. So when the kerosene was thrown, just a moment of surprise, a brilliant spark. So now, unable to bear the torture, unable to bear the humiliation, insults, unable to bear the pain of living, she decided to commit suicide. And she decided to give up her life. It's a blot. It's a slap on the humanity, the children. Please remember, because of somebody's humiliation, one person, life is more precious. Life is more precious, right? In the previous, in our first lesson, remember, even Nick Vujicic also wanted to commit suicide. He withstood that. Thanks to Vujicic's mother's love and affection and treatment and encouragement, how he transformed from the state of committing suicide to world famous motivation speaker. That is what if we take up the life. Yeah, that is what if we have a positive attitude. Unfortunately, this woman, there is no one to encourage her. There is no one to support her. There is no one to understand her feelings. There is no one to understand her pain. That is the drawback in her life. She couldn't bear it anymore, and she decided to give up her life. It was the only choice that she had ever known. So she poured kerosene on herself. And she burnt herself. Sorry. Another torch blazing in the dark. Another woman, we shield our faces from the heat. Remember, students, last three lines very carefully. Another torch blazing in the dark. See the usage, another torch. Normally, torches show light. Sorry, torches should give light to us. Another torch blazing in the dark. Another here refers another woman. There are many women. There are many women who are giving up life because of the problem of dowry. And this is also another case. It's not a new one. This not started with her, and this not ended. It's not going to end with her. The problem is going to continue. Is going to prevail for some more time until we all will realize our own responsibilities and start giving respect to others. And listen to that. Another torch blazing in the dark. Another woman. We shield our faces from the heat. We shield our faces from the heat. So we are not bothered. We are not concerned about the pain. We're not concerned. Some of us are thinking in a positive way to do. We understood that this is a bad trait. This shouldn't be. This is a bad practice. This shouldn't be encouraged. But unfortunately, we are not focusing on these kind of problems. What it deserves, attention, what it deserves, and going for the solution, we are not looking into that. That is the main drawback. Still, friends, you will find that still women are not getting due respect. I do request you all, start respecting women. Then only we will be very happy, and not only that, our society will be more happier, joyful and successful because of their contribution too. That is what the beauty of humanity is. Because I know you all are very, very good students, very, very nice to human beings. You will respect all human beings alike. You will not show any difference between men and women. Okay, this is what this poem is about, students. Just please keep reading as many times as possible so that it reminds you what are the problems other than the academic importance, the problems what the society has been facing. So focus on this problem and this poem also, and focus on your career and studies too, friends. And in the next lesson, next lesson we will discuss again. Until then, keep working on your studies well, and wishing you great success in all your endeavors. This is Durgarigunta signing off. Thank you.